Hello everybody, it's Jeanette from Thermogroovers. Welcome to Thursday Night Live. It is, God, what is the date? I've done it again. I'm terrible. I always forget. It's maybe the 17th. I can't remember. Hang on, 14th, 15th. It's the 17th. Oh, welcome. I'm just going to wait to see who's going to be joining me. Okay, who's going to be first in the room? It's April 17th. And guess what? Tonight's really Friday night because tomorrow's a holiday and I'm not doing a live tomorrow night. So tonight's a drink. So we're going to call it Thirsty Thursday. Okay? I'm sure you'll all understand. You have a bit of sympathy for me, won't you? Hey, Diane. Nice to see you. Hi, Tracy. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hey, Jennifer. Right, these are all jumping in now. Fantastic. Well, I have a little drink to make because tomorrow is Easter. Well, it's Good Friday. And I won't be jumping on tomorrow night and doing a live. So I thought, I'll incorporate the drink tonight. I'm sure you'll all be pleased to hear that. You've got your wine in hand already, Jenny. Go you. Love it. Awesome. What am I drinking? I've got an unopened bottle of, actually my husband just opened it. He had a shot of this before I jumped on. I said, would you like one of my drinks I'm going to make? He goes, I just had one. He just bought himself a little nip before I even thought about pouring one for myself. Anyway, he's gone out to feed Stella. So, all right. Hello, Rosina. Nice to see you too. Hi, Diddy. Hello, Janet. I had a good chat to Nicole this afternoon. And hello, Michelle, if you're watching as well. All right. Hi, Reva. Good to see you as well. Now, it's Easter, so I wanted to do the sour Yough Fruit Buns again, but I'm going to do a couple of twists on them that are not in the book. Now, if you're new here and you don't have a copy of my ebook, you'll need to grab yourself a copy. It's easy to get. You just jump onto thermogroovers.com.au and then download the book, and then you can make the recipes. There goes the dog. She's chasing her food bowl. She does the washing up after she's finished eating. She plays with it. And hang on, Lottie, I'll turn it up for you. Hang on. Nana, turn it up for you. Whoopsie days. There you go. Now she'll be less noisy. All right, I'm doing a couple of twists on these. So hang in there, right? I've got a few things to show you, and I'm going to show you how I pipe the crosses on. And there's lots of different ways that you can do this other than using a piping bag. Well, not necessarily different ways. You've got to pipe it on there. Like you can even drizzle it on with a spoon if you're, pushing the luck to have anything to put it in. But I'm going to show you a couple of tips, right? Oh, you made them today, did you, Jules? Go you. All right. Hello, Cheryl from the UK. Lovely to see you as well. Awesome, Julie. You did that. You put the crosses on top. Okay. Well, we'll compare notes because I know a lot of you have made fruit buns before, but not with my recipe. So if you haven't got the second book called Way More for Your Family, that's the one that you'll need. So that's what I'm cooking out of tonight. I'm going to make the drink, right? I need to get a straw as well. But this one, I usually make with a little bit of coconut milk or just normal milk. Sometimes I don't even put the milk in, it's just alcohol. But it's a take on my birthday cocktail as well. Hello, Michelle. Good to see you. Hi, Angie. Nice to see you too. All right, I'm not measuring as per usual because Jeanette doesn't measure, all right? Only when she writes a cookbook, that's when I measure. No, they don't, Lisa. They don't work as well gluten-free. Absolutely not, unfortunately, unless you use... No, I'm not even going to go there because I haven't tested it myself. But it's really hard to get bread and cross buns, hot cross buns, to be light and fluffy. It's very, very hard, right? I think anybody that can do it should be knighted, right? Or crowned or something. All right, in goes some Baileys. So, okay, I'm going to measure for you guys. Glug, 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 glug. Rightio. It's about 150 grams. Or a little bit more, 160. Hey, Janet, good to see you on too. A wee little bit of vodka. Not as much as the Baileys, right? So we'll pop that in. I'm going to go about... I always think of Sandy and Bruce. Bruce has to cut back Sandy's shots because she gets a little bit wobbly in the legs. Not because she's had too much to drink. It's because her legs don't work properly. Isn't that right, Sandy? Okay, I've got 3 shots of coffee here. Do you think I should use all of them? Absolutely, right? So in they go. Let me weigh that so you know how much it is. So it's 90 grams. I'm going to put a little bit of my chocolate sauce in. So you can see I haven't used much since the last time I scooped it out. This is really nice to go in your hot chocolates. This is just a recipe off Cookie Doo. So I'm going to put a little bit of this in just to add a little bit of colour, flavour. 10 grams. That's all that's in there. Right, what else have I got to go in? Vodka, Baileys, chocolate sauce, a little bit of milk to dilute it a bit because there's a lot of alcohol in there. It's not going to be a lot of milk. I'm just going to put 100 grams of milk. And then in goes the ice. And I like this to be more like a frappe, right? Hello, McDonald's. So it's an adult frappe. So if you want to make this for the kids, you could just use topping in this if you wanted to. Now I tend to put a lot of ice in this, so it makes it nice and thick and creamy. And then it will sort of resemble ice cream. So I've got 300 grams of ice. Okay, this recipe is not a recipe. This is it sounds like a mudslide, doesn't it? I thought butterscotch snaps would go really nice in this as well. Lisa's just put a gluten-free option up on her channel. Awesome. So I know people that do a lot of gluten-free cooking have mastered doing the gluten-free hot cross buns. I'm not that person. I'm sorry. Yay, Sandy, you are here. Yes, you do get wobbly. The mind's willing, but your body's not. All right, then we can just swipe and blend this. So on speed 10. If you don't have blend mode, you can just put it on for like 30 seconds, which I'm going to do manually. I always show you the manual way to do it because not everyone has a 6. Some people have a 31, some people have a TM5. So up to speed 10 because we don't want to chew it again. Away we go. Right, I'll move some of this stuff out of the way. This goes in the dishwasher. That goes in the sink. All right, 10, 9, 8. Have a big glass ready, right? And I'll put some ice in there. Put a little bit of ice in the glass. And then when you pour it out, it should be lovely and creamy and frothy, right? Oh yeah. And it sort of looks like a latte. I should taste it, shouldn't I? I'll be back in a minute. Delish. Tracy, go out and get some. She wishes she had some Baileys now. All right, I'm going to pour it in here and you can see it. It's lovely and creamy and frothy. And I'll tell you what, it goes down like yum. It's the best. Okay, I just can't get enough of this. Oh my gosh. What's the chocolate sauce recipe called? That's a really good question, Monica. I think it's just called chocolate sauce, maybe. I'll put the description up. I'll put the link in the description when I upload the live. Hello, Pam. Cheers to you. All right, who's going to make this? This is a good one for Easter. The other thing you can do is you can melt your Easter eggs and put it into Thermomix, put it on speed 8 to grate, and then just put it on 50 degrees. Kathy, cheers. It doesn't look good. It tastes better than what it looks, I can tell you. I'll just keep that aside. I mean, that's a meal in there, isn't it? There's not a lot of bad stuff in there. I did contemplate putting yogurt in there, but it'd give it a tart taste, which is what I don't want that at the moment. I have that for breakfast, right? Yeah, who needs a glass, Linda? That's why I started drinking it out of the bowl. All right, let me set that over there. I'm just going to pop this in the fridge. I'll put it on standby. I'm sure Jim will have one of those later. My son would absolutely demolish that. And I thought to myself, I could stick some protein powder in that and that'd be healthy, right? Dude, it's your kind of meal. I love it. The credit card getting some Saturday, can't get any tomorrow. No, everything's going to be closed. All right, let's get on with the cooking. Now, I'm also making my apricot delight chia puddings because I haven't had any for a few weeks and I'm missing them. So I'm going to make some of those too. So hang around. Thank you, Angela. Happy Easter to you too. I need another bowl. Rightio. I love being able to get just another bowl. I'm going to miss this when I get the TM7 because we won't have any spare bowls for a while. I need to get my people to talk to Forworks people, right? Because not having a spare bowl is going to drive me insane. All right, let's get started. So I've got the sour Yough Fruit Buns and then the Apricot Chia Delight Puddings. That's what we're doing. The Apricot Delight Chia Puddings. Whoops. Uber it. That's a good idea, Jennifer. Uber the Baileys to your house. That's a great idea. Look at the head on it. Can you see that? It is like a milkshake. Even better. You can sit on the couch and drink the jug, Tracy. Now, Rhonda, this is one you can give Bob to make. If Rhonda's watching, you can do that. All right. One thing I've got tonight is... whoopsies, I did that earlier and spilt the flour. We're doing a little variation on the sour Yough Fruit Buns. And the first thing I want to tell you, if you like the taste of rind in your fruit buns, which a lot of people do, and then a lot of people don't. I didn't put it in my recipe because it was just another ingredient that you had to have, which you might not have had handy and you had to go and buy. So I left it out. But this is the rind off an orange and a lemon. So I show you, I took it off this lemon and then I took it off this orange. And then I'll use the inside, the juice. If I don't eat them, I'll juice them and put the juice in the freezer. So there's no waste. So use the outside as well as the inside. You saw the 7 yesterday at you. Oh, Sue, you did. It's much smaller than you think. It's very, very good menu thing. Ooh, thanks, Sue. Sue's over in the UK. So the UK consultants, which they call advisors, they already have their Thermomixes, which is so exciting. Sandy, you love the fruit rind. Yes, Sharon. Rhonda, he can make them for Rat Pack when you next. I like the sound of that. Good on you, Sharon. Oh, did you show them at Coles? Hello, people at Coles at the register. They were jealous of my drink. Cheers to packing everyone's groceries. Oh my gosh, so good. All right, let's get on with it. Now, if you want to put the rind in with your buns, this is the way to do it. Now, I'm going to weigh this so that you know how much I'm using. I can't pick out the orange from the lemon, so I'm just going to weigh the entire lot. So what you would do is put the rind in first. It's like 15 to 20 grams, right? Then put all of your dry ingredients like your spice, your flour, and your bread improver, and your salt, right? Put it all into the Thermomix. Go, Rhonda. So we're going to put all the flour in there now. And the spices, we'll tip it all back into here in a second. But what you're going to do is just turn it up to high speed and you're going to mix the rind through the flour. And what happens, it zests the rind. And you get a beautiful flavour, but you don't get those big pieces of rind. You get the flavour. And that's what we want. Where's the measuring cup? Let me see if I've got one in here. Nope. Oh, we'll use this one. Okay, so I'm just going to turn it up to speed 10, just for like 5 seconds. And that'll be long enough. You don't really need to do it any longer. If you really want to get rid of the texture completely, you just do it for longer. Oh man, it smells good. Jennifer, you prefer no rind. Is it a texture or a taste thing? Because a lot of people don't like the texture, but they'd probably enjoy the taste if they couldn't feel it. So let me see if there's anything left in there. Right, there's a tiny, let me show you how small this is. Right, there's a tiny little piece there. Can you see how small it is? It's very thin and very small. Hi Beverly, you watch when you get home. Roger that. So if you want to do it longer, I might just do some of this a little bit longer. So I'll do half and half. So I'll just put it back on again and I'll just do it for another 5 seconds on speed 10. Now, Janet, you're so glad I'm making these as you've had a request for hot cross buns for Sunday, and I think these will be so good. Absolutely. I'm going to show you how I pipe the crosses on as well. All right. And what I use to pipe the crosses on. Now, this flour probably won't fit back in your bowl because it aerates it. So that can make a difference as to whether it fits back in the bowl or not. All right. Okay, let's do that. We'll get this one on now. And I'm going to put in, what am I going to put in to start with? So I've got the fruit and the milk to go in. So we soften the fruit by adding it with some milk into the Thermomix. And we just heat it. Not very hot, but what it does, it plumps the fruit up and makes the fruit, so when you bite into it, it explodes in your mouth a little bit, right? You love the blitzing, Jenny. Awesome. That's fantastic. All right, I'm going to move on to the other Thermomix here. And this one it's going to have the Apricot Delight chia puddings in it, right? So I've already soaked my apricots. There's a lot of apricots in it. And I've used dried apricots because sometimes you don't have tin, but you might have dry. These are you can put these in my Rough Enough granola, which is in my first book. But we just rehydrate them a bit by soaking them in some water. So strain off the water. There we go. And then we're going to put these into the Thermomix. Now, chopping them up, what have I told you to chop it for? I always like to use speed 5, so it's probably that. Absolutely. So we're just going to pop them in I'm not using maple syrup tonight. I'm just backing off on the sugar a little bit because I think for me at the moment it's sweet enough. So I'm just going to pop these into the Thermomix, and then I've got some secret ingredients here to go in as well. Right. I'm just going to give them a chop. I'm doing this out of order. Let me see. It's going to cook them first before I chop them up. So I'm going to put in half of the nectar. Right, so I've just got a tin of apricot nectar. And I'm just going to put half of that in there. And that cooks off together. Instead of putting the water in there, it cooks off with the apricot nectar. Okay, what temperature have I got that on? Haha, there we go. Yes, it's like a custard, Jeanette. There we go. So that one's done. And then we'll give them a chop once they've softened up from cooking, and then we add the rest of the apricot nectar in and the chia. You love these, Anne. I'm pleased you like them. You buy sugar-free maple syrup, did you? That's a good idea. I've never tried that. I should give that a go. Jim, you can have one of my drinks. It's in the jug in the fridge. He's just poured himself another nip on ice. I think mine's better. I think everyone agrees that mine's better than plain. I have to get the jug out of the fridge. I'm already down one. All right. Ooh. It's like it's got ice cream on top now. Here we go. Another little refill. You want to try some, Jim? There you go. Help yourself. You're a big boy. You can pour it yourself. All right, moving on. Oh, breakfast Good Friday. Absolutely, Jenny. Good Friday for eating the fruit buns. Right, now I'm up to speed. Marie, mine's eating them any old day. Now, I've got something to show you. What I've also done with this, I've put the recipe into a bread tin. So I'm just proving this. So I'll let it prove a little. Oh, didn't really give you a good look, did I? So that's been proving for a little while. I've just put it in the bread tin, and I'll pop that into the oven, and then we can actually have some slices of that instead of having the fruit buns. So you can do either. So that's another little twist, right? Okay. Whoop. Oh, I hardly spilt a drip. Look at that. I took the stem off the glass. That's a clean swipe. Look at that. Good thing I've got backup. Here we go. There's never a dull moment. It's not even Friday. All right. change up the glass. Here we go. Woo! Look at that. We'll just put that in the rubbish. Let me just wipe it up with a bit of paper towel. I did get a little bit of drink in my flour mixture. Look there. I'm going to put that in the fruit buns. Veronica, yeah, legless already. Oh, goodness no. It slipped out of my hand because it's so icy. There we go. That's my excuse anyway. I'm sticking with it. That's just, I've done a pretty good job with that. Hardly made any mess. Let's see if there's any glass. There's only a tiny little bit there. Okay, moving on. Emergency evaded. No blood. We're all good. Okay. Now I must remember to pick it up from the bottom, not from the top. Okay. We'll set that aside. That's got a little bit of ice in it too. We don't want that in there. Okay. Right. Let me get back to that. So the fruit bun in the tin, that's another way to do it as well. Nothing like doing your live show. Exactly, Shauna. Thanks, Diddy. It was a great save. All right, my apricots are nearly done. Now, the other little twist I'm doing tonight, instead of doing fruit, I'm doing choc bits. Right? I've weighed out the same amount of choc bits as you would use the fruit. And I'm still going to use the milk because that's a really important part in the recipe because it balances out the ratios of wet ingredients and dry ingredients. How long would I cook the loaf for? I would say probably about 25-30 minutes at least, Karen. I'm going to do that and I'll put it up in the description once I put a photo of it up, okay? So I will tell you. They'll probably taste better with a bit of Baileys in them. I think so too, Tracy. Yes, pick it up by the bottom, Jeanette. Don't make the same mistake twice. All right, so choc chips, I've got a combination of dark and milk. So that's what I'm putting into the recipe as well. All right, what have we got in there? That's already done. So the fruit's done there. So we tip this out. Let's turn you down there. Now I've got a recipe of the piping mixture, and it's an old recipe that I used to use when I had my TM31 back in the day. I've still got my TM31, and it's a combination of flour, water, a pinch of salt and a little bit of oil. So I'll tell you those ratios in a minute. All right, that one's done. So let's put the water in here with the yeast. Wrong water, Jeanette. This one. There we go. That one. The yeast and the sugar, and we'll get that activated. So put that on for a couple of seconds. Can you see what I'm doing? Yes, you can. Did you put the loaf in cold oven like the bread? Absolutely, Monica. We're going to do exactly the same. Okay. Heating. Lid on properly. And there we have it. Right. So this is all nicely cooked up now. We've got the apricots in there with nectar. A little bit of ginger powder just to give it a little bit of zing. And I need a lid. Oh, this one will do. So we give that a chop. And then I'll put the rest of the nectar in. You can't see what I'm doing there, can you? There you go. Now you can see. Now, if you want your apricots to be a little bit finer in texture, you can chop it for a little bit longer. Oh, I can't wait to eat these again. So I've got this yummy like mixture there. Okay, Louise, you've got a quick question for me. Is the citrus loaf a bit dense, or have I done something wrong somewhere? What sort of flour did you use, Louise? It shouldn't be too dense. It is light and fluffy without being stodgy. So depending on what flour you used, maybe, or do you have fresh flour, or has it been around a while? This is a good question, right? Let's clarify that. All right, add the nectar and the chia seeds, and we're just going to mix that through. Now, the residual heat will stay in the bowl from where you've cooked off the apricots. I'll tip out the rest of that juice. There we go. And then we're just going to mix that through. I'm going to do that now. And you do incorporate a little bit of heat with this, but the residual heat will stay in the bowl. So you'll see the little number. You'll see the little number above the heat setting. That's what the temperature is in the bowl. And the bigger number is the temperature that you actually have to cook it off at. Okay? So just giving you the heads up there. What have I missed? Nothing. Right. Moving on. Next thing to go in is the butter and the yogurt. Secret ingredient. It's no secret. And then we just mix that together and bring that up to temperature and melt the butter. So it's wonderful that everything can be temperature controlled in this recipe. It's very important because it makes a difference with how it turns out. So does anyone wish they'd do the 7 in white? Oh, Cheryl. That is something that I first asked. I'm not sure that they'll do it because of the sustainability mindfulness, because they're using recycled product. Plus, they did global research and found that dark appliances will be trending in the future for whatever reason. Who knows? Thanks, Jennifer. You've put that up there. Ray, you're saying yes. I reckon a lot of people would say yes. Okay, moving on. This, let me see if this is combined. Oh yeah, that looks pretty good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the chia mix into a bowl so it can cool off. And then it'll start to thicken even more. So it's still quite runny. Right? Doesn't look very attractive, but man, oh man, it tastes good. So you use this with your yogurt and the groovy citrus syrup. You layer it in your little jars, or you can put it in a big container, and then you can build it like a lasagna. So yogurt, apricot filling, and then groovy citrus syrup, and then more yogurt. So you can just take a big spoonful out, but you might catch one of your family members standing there one day eating out of the big container, and they will be double dipping, right? Because that's what kids do, or teenage sons. They're very good at that. And they'll do it secretly without anybody knowing, I'm sure. Who's got sons that have been like that or are like that? All right, let me taste this. Yum. Tastes good. Oh, yeah. It's a little bit sharper because I haven't got the maple syrup in it. It's only a little bit of maple syrup, but it just combines nicely, okay? What are we cooking, Robin? These are the Apricot Delight Chia Pudding mixture. So you layer this with your yogurt. And then I'm doing variations on the sour Yough Fruit Buns, right? So, Bronwyn, that's what's in the bowl. It's the Apricot Chia Puddings. Let me scrape the rest of this off into there. And then I'm just going to give the bowl a little rinse and do the other variation of the fruit buns. There we go. Let me just get some water into this. There we go. I'll give it a little zhuzh, and then I'll do the other variation of the fruit bun in this one. Okay. And then I'll be rolling it all out, putting it into some tins, and baking them, letting them proof. But I'm going to pipe the crosses on. I'll show you how to do that in a second and give you the ratios of the piping mixture. There we go. Do you know, when I was making this piping mixture, it reminded me of the days when we were younger and we used to go whitewashing on New Year's Eve. And you were supposed to mix up this white ochre, which people used to paint the insides of their fireplace to make them look really nice and clean. You could get red ochre and you could get white ochre. But my parents were too tight to buy us any of that, so Mum would mix up flour and water and she'd give us a paintbrush. Oh, there goes a little bit of glass. Hang on, let me pick that up. There we go, I got that. She'd give us a paintbrush and a bucket, and she'd say, off you go. And we'd go whitewashing and paint everyone's windows, you know, like 2026, Happy New Year. And then it would bake on by the sun, and then people would complain that those Austin girls would whitewash people's windows. We didn't understand that. We just thought it was fun sneaking around. Oh my gosh, Sandy, your son ate a whole big bowl of chocolate mousse in one afternoon out of the fridge. See? It happens, doesn't it? All right, let's move on. Okay, so this has got the butter and the yogurt in it. So, oh yeah, that looks good. So the next thing to go in here is some of the flour. I'm going to do this one. I'll use this one over here. The one's got the Baileys in it, right? So that's going in. And the rest of the flour. And then with a minute left to knead, you add the fruit in through the hole at the top. I don't know what I'm going to do when I get the TM7 because you can't add things through the hole. I'm devastated. I'll find another way. All right, so we'll add that with the milk. You don't take the milk off, you leave the milk on. Now in the other one, we're going to start it. Oh, and he still loves chocolate mousse, and he's a big grown-up boy. Hello, Vicky. Happy Easter to you as well. Now, I'm going to put a few choc bits into the milk to melt it. Not all of them, just a few. Now, choc bits typically don't melt. Right? So, I don't know how many I put in there. I did this twice. That, and then that. That's all I put in there. Because I really want these to stay in the mixture. Hello there, Jules. Nice to see you on. It does have a hole on top. Does it, Sue? But I don't know that you can put things in it. Keep me posted, please. You know more than me at the moment. All right, we're going to just melt this a little bit, just for a couple of minutes. And then set that aside. I think I'll use this bowl. All right. And set that aside. And then we'll put in the water and the yeast and go through the process again. Okay? And let's have a look at this loaf here. Ooh, it's growing even more. I've got the heat pack underneath it. So that's, you can see it's nearly level with the top of the tin. Yes, better late than never, Julie. I've just done the fruit buns and put them in a loaf tin. So my bread tin. So that's what I've done already. Okay? All right, what have I got over here? Yogurt to go in next, and water first, yogurt and then butter. All right, do you know, with this one I put in the loaf tin, I forgot to put the butter in. So I just zhuzhed it in the microwave and melted it and then just poured it through the hole and kept kneading it. So it turned out perfectly fine. So there's never ever a mistake. It's just, a forget-me thing, right? No, you can't, Julie. That's what I've heard as well. We'll all find out about it very, very soon. Oh, this is so good. All right. Next week, I'm doing something new. I enrolled today to go to some aqua fitness classes. I cannot wait. It's going to be awesome. Because I'm having a hip operation, I thought I'd better do some aqua stuff that's not weight bearing. And so I have to get into some bathers. Now that's going to be a problem. It's been a while. It's been a hot minute since I've been in bathers, right? All right, we're going to put the fruit in now. So I'm just going to pour it in through the hole. Away it goes. There you go. Now I did look in the cupboard and I thought, oh, I could put some cranberries in this to make it nice and colourful. But then I decided not to. I just do the currants and the sultanas. I thought that'll do. But you could mix it up. You could put apricots, you could put cranberries in there, sultanas, raisins, currants, whatever you've got, right? Sharon, how long does it take to prove in the tin? I would say it takes around about 50 minutes. So 50 minutes to an hour, and I've got a heat pack under mine, but it will depend on where you live and how warm your climate is. Lynn, you liked my measurement of choc chips. That's all we do here, right? Yeah, Marie, you put cranberries in yours today. Brilliant. All right, now we've got a little bit of chocolate milk here, right? And the reason why I wanted to melt some of that off is to give it that nice chocolate colour. So when we make the mixture, we still put the mixed spice in, but we melt some of the chocolate in with the milk to give it a really nice colour, okay? Oh, Janet, you say mixed shop storage glass dishes are worth every penny. You just love them. I'm so pleased you got some. That's awesome. Now, Raylene, you do aqua 3 days a week and you really, really, really love it. You get to exercise and it's great for us. Oh, yes, I think it's going to be perfect, Raylene. So I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait. It's going to be fun. I'm going to be as blind as a bat when I have to take my glasses off, so I have to be in the front row. Awesome. You do the same too, Carolyn. Look at all of you telling me that what yous are doing. I love the fact that yous all do this. All right, in goes the water. In goes the yeast and the bit of sugar. And timer set and activate. Right. Away we go. And I'm going to take the other out and start shaping this. So this one I've got now is the one with the rind in it. Now, Sharon, you walk in the local pool every day. It's so good for your knees and your hips. It's a happy place. You have told me that before, and you've met some lovely ladies at that session. You've talked to me about that before. All right, sprinkle, sprinkle. We need a fair bit of flour on this. This recipe is really sticky. Don't be tempted to put too much. Don't put any more flour in the mixture. The only extra flour you use in this recipe is on the mat to get it to the point where you can actually basically just do this with them, right? You have prescription goggles that you can wear in the pool. Is that right? Is that what you were telling me there, Louise? Well, if this is a long-term commitment that I'm going to take up, maybe that's a good idea. Yes, there you go. It's a thing. I could wear my sunnies. I don't know whether I'll be able to see much with those on. All right, let me get some Glad Bake paper. And I need to line this tin, right? I may have to, absolutely, Janet. You guys are full of great ideas. All right, look away if you're OCD because you never ever like me doing this. It just fits better. It fits easier. I scrunch it up and then I just put it in the tin. It just works, right? So look away. If Lee's on here tonight, she'll be looking away. All right, so I've just set it in there like that. It's just so easy. Absolutely, Sharon. I'm so pleased you found that group of ladies. All right, let's tip this out. All right, so we just give it a wiggle, wiggle, and it's very, very sticky. Oh, all right. Let's get this out of here. Now, this is when you need a bit of oil on your hands. Once you've got it floured up a little bit. So the oil helps you when you're doing this, right? What can we call that? Because it's not rolling. What is it? I don't even know what you'd call it. Shaping. No, that's a bit boring. Surely we can come up with a better name than that. Let me just take this to a dry spin. 10 seconds, 2 seconds on speed 10. There we go. And then I can scrape out the rest. Now I'm just going to hold the mat up and show you how lovely and plump this fruit is. And look, you can put it in with less than a minute to knead if you want to, but the kneading will rotate from reverse to clockwise, so it doesn't really chop the fruit up like it would do if you just added it and mixed it through. Leanne, you do hydrotherapy as well. You just wear your normal glasses. They just get a few drops on them, but you can still see. Do they fog up? I want to know if they fog up. Look at that. See the plump fruit? We've still got texture. That's what you want with your fruit buns. Don't get your hair wet, it's just your arms and a noodle. Oh, that sounds good. I'll have to report back after next week. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be fun. All right, we're going to sprinkle a little bit of flour on this. Cheryl, apparently they have open cooking mode where the lid comes off while cooking. I have seen that, but I don't think you can knead without the lid on. Anyway, it's going to be fun and I'll do it all with you. All right, we've got a little bit of flour on this now. just to make it easier. So you want to just throw it around on the mat a little bit, right? That's all you want to be able to. I can hear Jamie Oliver on the TV. My husband's watching a cooking show while I'm on here with you guys. There we go. I'm just going to shut the door. It's got that loud. I've got competition, Jim. Fancy that. All right, let's divide this up. So you really don't have to, it depends. Sometimes it can be really sticky and other times not so sticky, right? So we divide it into 4. And then we divide each of those into 3. And then we just shape them. Now I don't weigh these out individually, but some of you might want to. I just find that that takes a little bit longer, and I don't really mind if one's bigger than the other. That's what you call them. You call them gourmet, right? Gourmet fruit buns. Okay, I'm going to move on to the other Thermomix. Diane, only the speed 2. That's exactly right. So it's sort of a bit like the friend that we never ever got in Australia. The TM7 is based on that, I feel. Hello, Nicole, you are very late. Okay, the glasses don't fog up, Leanne. Thank you very much. All right, let me move you up here with my sticky hands. I hope the camera doesn't come flying off like last week. Yes, Robin, they will vary. It varies depending on the environment, so don't stress too much about it. Last time I made them, last week, they were really sticky. Today, they're not so sticky. So who knows? We use exactly the same measurements. It just changes. So don't stress too much if that happens. All right, in goes the butter into this mixture. Right. And in goes the yogurt. Let me just get a spatula, scrape that in. There we go. Okay, can you see what I'm doing? No, oh, only just. All right, butter and yogurt. Right, let's heat that through. Done. Right. Low temperature, low and slow. Right. And then the next thing we put in is our flour. And then with 1 minute left to knead, add your chopped bits. That's what you do. As well as the milk that's got the chocolate melted in it. That's all you have to do. All right. Right. Get some oil on your hands. Right. And then all you're going to do is just fold them over so they're nice little buns. And I tend to put them in a deep tray like this. Rather than sitting them individually, I like to have them stacked up against each other. I don't sit them individually. I find they dry out too much. So that's why you'll see in the pictures in my book that these are side by side, right? And I'm not super fussy with how these look when they go in because they find a shape of their own. Let me point the camera down a bit so you can see a little bit better. So that's all you really need to do. Let me point you down. Down, down, down. There you go. Now you can see better. So a little bit of oil. I'll scrape all the ingredients off the mat. And then I just sort of fold them down like this. That's all you've got to do. And they don't have to be perfect. We're not in competition with banjos, right? There's no competition for us because we're making our very own. There we go. Oh, a bit sticky, more oil. That's the secret. You can't use too much oil. There we go. And then normally I would let these prove. Oh, that one's a bit big. Normally I would let these prove and then put the crosses on, but because we're short on time, you don't want to be hanging around while these prove. I'm going to show you how I put the crosses on before they've actually grown big enough. Right. Don't waste any of your mixture. Gather it up, put it into your dough, and there you go. I was at a demo the other day. I had a beautiful demo with Maureen. Maureen, if you're watching, hello. And hello, Alina, and hello, Michaela, and Harper, and David, and Lauren. We had a great demo. Where was I going with that? I don't know what I was going with that. Oh, no, they commented on how much I rhyme everything. And I rhyme everything because it helps when it comes to remembering. So that's why I rhyme everything. Oh, Sue, Amazon have spray bottles. And I think somebody said earlier, somebody put something up that said they had them. Aldi, awesome. You guys are all over it. Right, let me wash my hands. And then we're going to make the mixture for the piping. And I'll pipe these on. Right, so that's one lot done. And then let me turn you back up again so you can see what I'm doing. Who needs crosses? Exactly, Robin, but some people think that they're not Easter buns if they don't have crosses. So let's do crosses. What oils do you use in Australia? Cheryl, I have just olive oil, extra virgin. No, it's not extra virgin. It's cold pressed olive oil. And then just as a flavourless oil, I use either rice bran oil or grapeseed oil. And out of all the devils, it's probably the best one. And I don't use a lot of it because I don't make mayonnaise with oil. I make my own mayonnaise out of yogurt, which is brilliant. All right, let me just give my hands a wipe. And let's have a look at what's next, right? We're doing the fruit buns without any fruit. These have got chopped chips. All right, so we're going to put our flour in now. And in it goes with our spices and our improver and our salt. And then we're just going to knead that. Oops, swipe. And then with a minute left to go, we'll add the chopped chips and the chopped chips that have been melted in the milk. So same ratios. We don't change the ratios. Okay? You went to the vet, Diane, and you got the syringe. Cheers to you. What did they say at the veterinary clinic? Did they ask what you were using it for? I'm about to show you what I do. All right, I've got a bowl here that's obviously been used to make the cross mixture. So let's do that now. I can do that in this Thermomix. So the ratios are, I've got them written here. Where is it? The ratios are 80 grams of plain flour, a pinch of salt, about 10 to 15 grams of oil, and between 80 to 100 grams of water. Now, when I say 80 to 100, I want you to check how thick it is with 80 grams of water in it. And if you need to add extra, you can add extra. But once it's in, you can't take it out. You've just got to add more flour. Diane, I'm pleased you told them what you were using it for. I love that. No, Boo, it's in the first book. It's the honey mustard mayo. That's what it is, the groovy honey mustard mayo. It's in the first book. I think you've got the first book. Maybe. All right, let's go over to this one now. Let me turn you up a bit. Isn't it good to give people a good laugh? All right, so we just put all of the mixture in. So we put the flour in, we've got the oil, and you just mix this on speed 4. All right, now remember, this is for Easter. This is for the crosses. So the cross has 4 points, right? So remember, speed 4. Easy to remember. Okay, I'm just going to put 80 grams in. I don't want to put too much in. I don't want to make it too runny because what happens, I've already measured 80. What happens, the crosses start to spread across your buns and then they look a little bit sad, right? You want definitive paste when you put it on. Yes, you do, Boo. Go you. All right, we're just going to do this 30 seconds on speed 4 and I don't even set the timer. I just watch the timer count up. So turn it up to speed 4 and just watch it count up for 30 seconds and then you're good to go, okay? Okay, catch you later, Sandy. Bye. All right, we've got 1:20 left here. So I'm just going to pour the chocolate mixture in and that's going to colour it up beautifully and give it a nice flavour. And then I'm going to put the choc chips in. In they go. Swishing around. All right. Now, how did I get this paste into the syringe? I just used the spatula. I'm going to show you how I did it. But I need to get some out first. So I'm going to do these buns. And, right, that's long enough. I'll do these buns now and you'll be able to watch me It's either it can go one way or it can go the other, right? Okay. Oh no, these go again. Sorry about that. Let me put you back up there. Oops, hang on a second. I think I need a new on my stand. It seems to have lost its grip. Stay with me. All right. For some reason, it's not staying in there. What's going on? All right. I'm going to have to prop you up on my dish drainer. Right. Let's see. There's something going on. There we go. Oh no, I think I've broken it. I think I've snapped it. All right. Where I'm on to hold the camera. Just 1 second. And husband, what he said. So you just need to hold it